how are we doing? How are we doing? We are in some really weird times right now. And I want to make sure that we're addressing the things that need to be addressed here. So if you or your athlete are struggling with motivation or with anything in regards to, the outside world and, the craziness going on and you need a friend, that's what I'm here for. Sai's giving me a thumbs up. Hey, girl. So I want you guys to know that I'm here for you. If there's something that you need to hear or need me to tell your athlete, this is the whole point of what I do. I try to listen and help. So if there's anything that you can think of that you think I could help you with or your athlete with, please don't hesitate to send me a DM or write in the comments, what it is that you want to learn more, because that's what I want to tailor my work to, is to what your needs are. So that's why I love what I do. That's why I love that you guys are here listening to me today. That's why every single week I'm talking about a certain topic. So this week's topic about being coachable is something that's been on my heart because, in my career, when I'm working with athletes, some athletes are more coachable than others. And I truly believe if you want to be a great athlete, you have to be able to be coachable. So when it comes down to it, just like they said in The Last Dance from the Michael Jordan documentary, they talked about how even Michael was coachable. Even though he knew he was the best one on the court, if you told him to work on something, he was going to do it. And that's because winning was everything to him. So if someone found a flaw in his game, he was going to do whatever it took to get better at that thing so that his team can win a championship. So today's topic is about being coachable. But before we get there, I always love to start with some positivity. We have a new Smash Tribe member. So if you guys don't know, I have a membership, and basically my members get hitting with me every Tuesday, so they get their own fancy hitting academy with me on Tuesday nights. So I'm excited to meet my new member tomorrow, Natalie. She's going to be there tomorrow. By the way, if you're a member and you're tuning in, you haven't signed up for your spot yet, make sure you sign up. So I'm so excited I have a new member. I'm always very, very excited because they get swag from me. So Natalie's going to get a cool swag box coming her way, which I'm excited for her to get. And being a part of the membership also gets you access to a Facebook community, and also access to all the courses that I provide and all the great things as well. If you guys are interested in that and you don't know where to go, either head to my website at ashleybtraining.com or send me a DM and I'll guide you there. But I'm so excited to have a new member. Seriously, it's like Christmas every time somebody signs up to be a member. So very excited about that. The other thing I'm excited about is this week. So every first Sunday of the month, I go live with all of my members. So my members get a live coaching with me for an hour. And basically we just talk about whatever topic I feel athletes need to hear right now, which is why I'm always looking at your comments and listening to the things that you're asking to learn more from. And I think this weekend's going to be about distractions and not letting distractions take away from our goals and the things that we want to do. So because this is the first Sunday of the month coming up this weekend at 5 p.m., I'm meeting with all of my members to do a live coaching with them. Again, if you want to be a member, just let me know and I'll get you there. But I'm so excited for that. So now that I've talked about all the things that I'm excited about and that make me happy, I am going to coach you on being coachable. So the most coachable athletes are the ones that end up succeeding the most, the majority of the time. Okay. No coach wants to have an athlete that thinks they know it all, because the best coaches out there know that they don't even know it all. So if an athlete is trying to tell them they know it all, there's a problem, right? So when it comes down to it, being coachable is not an easy thing to do. I was actually playing golf yesterday with my boyfriend, and he played college golf, so he's really good at golf. But what's funny is he was trying to teach me, he goes, take a half swing. And in my mind, I'm just like, I'm a softball player. There's no such thing as a half swing. You go all or nothing on your swing. When you go for a ball, when you go for a pitch, you go all in or not at all. And so when he said, take a half swing, I was like, babe, what does that mean? What does taking a half swing even mean? And he goes, oh, just go halfway up. Don't take the full drag of the swing. Just go halfway and then finish through the ball. Normal. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So I do it, and then I hit the ball 5 feet from the hole. And if anybody plays golf, you understand that is not an easy task, okay? I was hitting from the rough. So I took a half swing, and then I hit it, and it went straight, and it landed 5 feet from the hole. And then he goes, hey, Ash, you're pretty coachable. Good job. And like in my mind, I thought about, when I was an athlete, that was actually one of my favorite comments that I ever got from coaches was the fact that I was coachable. And, I took a lot of pride in that because, my dad coached me the majority of my life. And so when he told me to do something, I was always going to do it or at least try it and see if it worked. Didn't always work, right? It doesn't always work when somebody tells you to work on something. But you always have to try. You got to try new things. You got to figure out, a new thing might be the next thing to make you level up. So that was my story of being coachable. So I want you guys to hone in on, are you coachable? Is your daughter coachable? If not, it's definitely something you can work on because I wasn't always coachable. There were times where I was like, I don't think that's going to work. But in my mind, maybe it wasn't, but it would never work unless I tried. So definitely make sure that if somebody's telling you to do something and they actually they have empathy, they really care about you succeeding. Remember, they want you to succeed. And if they do, that's your goal, is to make sure that you at least try something out, at least try out the new thing, because you never know if it's going to be the next thing to change the game for you. So always, always, always be coachable. So with that, before I finish up, I just want to remind you guys that the second half of this is going to be just me answering questions from you guys. So if you have any questions at all about, being coachable or about the Mind Gym book club that we do every single day that I did this morning with you guys, if you have questions about the membership, if you have questions about hitting, if you have questions about anything, this is where I'm going to open my ears to you and what you want or need. But before I do that, I wanted to talk about one more thing in regards to golf because I thought it was pretty funny. We've played this golf course tons and tons of times. And this is funny how athletics, they all just, no matter what sport you're playing, it all just kind of links together. But we were talking about in the Mind Gym book club that if you say don't do something, don't swing at the high pitch. And for me on this golf course, it was don't hit it in the water. There's a specific hole in golf at this golf course where right to the right of the flagstick, no matter where the flagstick is, there's water, a big pond of water. And I think the last 3 times I've played this hole, I think it's the 3rd hole in the course, I've hit the ball in the water. The last 3 times I've hit the ball in the water. And my athletes right now that are tuning in would probably say, Coach Ashley, I thought you told me that we can never make the same mistake more than twice. And yes, that's what I say to you, right? If you hit 2 pop-ups in the same spot and we don't make an adjustment, there's a problem. Okay, well, here's your coach admitting that in golf, I made the same mistake more than twice and I didn't know how to get out of it, right? So yesterday we're playing this course and I've told you the last 3 times I've played this hole, I've hit the ball straight into the water. And it was because I was telling myself, don't hit it in the water. That's what I was saying. I was like, don't hit it in the water, don't hit it in the water. And because I was saying that to myself, the ball went straight into the water. And it's funny because 2 days ago in the Mind Gym book club, we talked about how your thoughts become your actions. And even though I'm trying not to hit it in the water, my thoughts on the water and the water only, instead of the actual pin that I want to hit. So here's the moral of the story. Yesterday, I played this course again, went to hole 3, told myself I was not going to think about the water, but I was going to think about hitting it straight and hitting it straight to the pin. And I'm telling you right now, that's exactly what I did. I actually overshot it because I didn't want to put it in the water. So I actually hit it way further than the actual pin, but it was on a straight line and it didn't go in the water. So I wanted to share this because the Mind Gym book club that we do every single day at 10, it paid off for me and it will pay off for you too if you actually put that stuff that we learn into practice. So I wanted to share that because I was pretty dang proud of myself from doing that. Because I was really I'm not hitting in the water again. I cannot lose another golf ball. I'm not going to do it. So that was my my fun fact, my fun story about how sports are great and how we can learn about overcoming obstacles. So that's my story from there. So with that, I'm going to answer some questions that you guys have. So Caitlin actually just asked on Instagram, in Mind Gym it says not to think about what not to do, but what to do. Caitlin, you're a genius. This is why I was so excited. That's exactly what we talked about last week in Mind Gym. Focusing on what to do instead of what not to do. And that's exactly what I focused on yesterday and why I was able to succeed. Caitlin, I love it. I love that you read the book. I love that it helps you. How else does it help you? Let me know how else it's helped you in your game, mastering your mindset, because that's the biggest separator, guys. The biggest separator between The best athletes and the average athletes is their mind. It's whether they believe in their abilities. And so inside the book Mind Gym, which is why we're talking about it every single day, we talk about how you can master your mind and how that mindset will definitely change the game for you, whether it's in the box, whether it's on the pitching mound, on defense, talking to your teammates, being a leader. Oh my gosh, this book, it will change your life, okay? And I know I always talk about it, but that's probably why over 10 people have reached out to me saying they have bought the book because it has helped them that much. One common question that people ask me all the time, all the time, are, hey Ashley, what drill should I work on to get more out of my lower half? Or, hey Ashley, what drill should I work on to keep my hands above the ball? What drill should I work on to work on timing? And I'm telling you right now that so I have almost all of my favorite drills of all time are on my YouTube channel. And they're not just up, like they actually have underneath it in the comments, it says what that drill is meant for. So if you need more power in your lower half, I recommend you go to the knee down drill, okay? Go to my YouTube channel, just type in Ashley Burkhart Training or Ashley Burkhart, one of the two. But you'll be able to see my logo, you'll be able to see everything. And in there, I have over 10 drills, okay? I have a lot more, actually I think there's over 20. No, there's over 20 drills in there. And each drill, like I have a drill for all of the things from timing to barrel path, bat speed, lower half strength and power, tons and tons of drill content. And so every time somebody asks me that, if they say, hey, I need to use more of my lower half, I tag the YouTube drill from like the knee down drill, for example, and I'll send it to her and be like, hey, go check out all my videos. So if you have a question on how to get better in some sort of aspect drill wise, go to my YouTube channel, go to my YouTube channel, go to my YouTube channel, okay? I get at least like 5 questions a week from athletes. So I just wanna make sure it's obvious and clear that you guys can go there to learn all the things. And by the way, all of my drills are up indefinitely. These are all drills from inside the membership that I was talking about earlier. And I open them up to everyone right now because a lot of people are still having to work from home and train from home. So there's a lot of drills there that'll help you with your lower half, help you with your upper half, whatever. And you really don't need much equipment to do so. So that's why I made that available to all of you. So please take advantage of it. I don't have any intention of taking it down within the next couple weeks, so don't worry. But all of my drills are there, and please, please, please watch them. They are going to help you tremendously. Caitlin also said another question. Atta girl, love it. What age should you start thinking about the recruitment process? Recruitment process, I would say, if you want to play college softball, if you want to play, like if that's your dream, if that's your goal, you can start thinking about it now, okay? And that's the thing, like you don't have to think about, I need to send an email if you're in 8th grade. You don't have to do that. But what you can do is you can start, tailoring everything you're doing on social media, pretending like coaches are always watching you. Because as soon as you start the recruiting process, coaches are going to be all over your social media. They're going to check and see what you're tweeting about. They're going to check and see what you're posting on Instagram, Facebook. I know a lot of athletes don't really have Facebook anymore. But they're going to look, like the coaches that want good athletes, they're going to look at their social media and see if that's a person that's going to represent them well. By the way, I just went like this and I was like, yeah, UNC. My baby sister goes there, so that's why I'm wearing them. But yeah, so if you want to start thinking about recruiting process, you can do it now. If you want to play college softball, you can always start. But remember, before you start sending emails, just know that as soon as you send an email, there's a potential that those coaches could look at all of your social media and go try to follow you. So they want to make sure that you're an athlete that would represent their program well. So you can think about that whenever. So what should you do to get more college coaches to notice you? Great question. I would say, positivity is everything. So basically when a coach takes an athlete, they are taking not just their skills, but their personality. Okay. Some coaches don't really care about the personality, but I'll tell you, the ones that you want to play for, they truly do. They want to know that you're a good teammate. So make it your goal to be a good teammate. And that doesn't mean that you're not one. That just means pretend like a coach is always watching you. So if you're going to play some games this summer or this fall, and you always have to pretend like a coach is watching, okay? I think that's one of the best advice that I could give you is just pretend like they're always watching you. So if they are at a tournament and you don't even know it, you're prepared. Because if you're going to strike out and throw your bat and throw this hissy fit, that's clearly a red flag for a coach watching you. So this is the time where you can practice it. Practice it at practice. Practice it in your games. Focus on, if a coach is watching me, how would I want to act and respond? You want to do so with poise, and you always want to be a good teammate, no matter what. That's what you can do. Focus on being a good teammate. Now, obviously, you got to have some skill if you're going to play the game at a college level, right? You can't just say that, what can I do to have a coach watch me and say that, oh, my skills are okay. Your skills got to be pretty prime, okay? If you aren't very good at your backhand, I would say go master the backhand right now. If you're a catcher and your throwdowns aren't great, I would say go master your throwdowns, because you've got to have some good skills in order to get recruited, okay? Can't just say, I need a coach to notice me and only go with, I need to be a good teammate. Yeah, we need a good teammate, but we also need to win. So we need some people with some good skills in order to get that for us. So Caitlin, this is a loaded question, but a flippin' amazing one. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Also, if you are dying to go to a specific school, it's not too early to send an email, okay? They cannot respond to you specifically and recruit you and say, hey, come to our campus. We want to show you campus if you're not a junior of September 1st, I think, of your junior year, okay? And right now, all coaches are in a dead period. And one coach that actually said this, and I was like, this is absolute genius. I shared this on my Facebook page because I was like, this is prime. She said that right now, the coaches are in a dead period. They can't speak to any athletes outside their program. But what they can do is they can watch some film. So if you have some film of you doing some pretty awesome skills, definitely research, or maybe go to that Facebook post that I posted. If you want to have access to it, I'll find it for you and send it to you, because it's going to help you tremendously. It's like showing you what coaches are looking for. They're not looking for $300 cameras. They're looking for some skills. Okay. So if you actually have time to send some skills videos, I would totally recommend it right now, because coaches are in a dead period and all they can do is just watch that stuff. So that's my advice for you. Ariel said, oh, I love this. Make sure nobody works harder than me. I think that work harder than. Yeah. So I love that, because inside, when we talked about the Last Dance, so the Michael Jordan documentary, he said no one was going to work harder than I am. And I've actually heard multiple professional athletes say that. And I love that whole line, because if you have that mindset that nobody's going to work harder than you are, then you're not going to let anybody in the room, on the field, wherever you are, work harder than you. And if that's always your mindset, and over to your left, there's somebody that's kicking butt, you're going to be like, that's not happening anymore. And you're going to step up your game. And because you did that, and if that person's just as competitive as you are, now they're going to level up their game, and you're going to be like, nope, not happening. And then you're going to level up. And then they're going to be like, what the heck? I want to work harder than them. Boom, boom. Surround yourself with people that are going to work hard, because there is nothing stopping you from working hard if you have people surrounding you. I love that, Ariel. Thanks for mentioning that. I absolutely love it. Last thing. So this is the last question that I have, and I will end the conversation here if nobody else asks a question or requests to join the conversation. Actually, it was this past week. So last week, when I was doing a Mind Gym book club, there was a question that came up, and it wasn't even a question. It was a statement, but this is from a dad who is actually a member of Smash Tribe. And he said that his goal was he wanted to let his daughter know to let go of the fear of letting down mom and dad. And that statement, it hit me so hard, because I spent the majority of my playing career trying to please my dad. And it bit me in the butt. Because I was playing the majority of my career, I was playing to make dad happy. I didn't realize that that's what I was playing for. So if you as an athlete are tuning in right now and you are saying to yourself, wow, I'm playing to try to please my dad, stop it right now. Don't do it anymore, because I'm telling you, when I changed the game from trying to play for my dad to start playing for myself, and to taking ownership of my game so that I can become the best version of me on my own with the help of others, right? As soon as I changed the game that way, I went from hitting 250 to like 400, simply because I let go of that pressure of trying to please my dad and started to figure out how to please myself as an athlete. the world was my oyster at that point. So if you are trying to please your parents, and that's why you play, I want you to dig deep, because your parents, just like Travis was saying, your parents don't want you to play for them. They're so proud of you, whether you fail or you succeed, no matter what, because they know you tried. All right? So do not play for your parents. I made the mistake of doing that. Even up until my college career, I did that. Subconsciously. I didn't even know that I was doing that. But if you're an athlete that feels like, wow, I really do, I try to please my dad. Like, I only hit to please my dad. I only try to break records because that's what I did to help me get out of my own head. If I succeeded just for my dad, that's a problem. That's a problem if you're trying to just succeed just so your dad's happy. Because I'm telling you right now, that's not going to make your dad happy. Because when I told my dad that I broke a record and was like, Dad, that was for you, he got so mad at me. He looked like he wanted to punch me in the face. He didn't punch me in the face. But he was so mad that I was like, Dad, I broke that record. Like, that was for you. He was like, what? Why? He doesn't want that. He doesn't want me to play for him. He wants me to play for me. Just understand that. Your parents don't want you to play for them. And I'm so glad Travis mentioned this. I'm so glad he mentioned this in Mind Gym this week. Because your parents want you to succeed for you. And they want to see how far you can go, and they're going to do whatever it takes to help you do that. But you can't just say that you're going to play for them, because they're going to get mad. Because it is not about them. It is about you. It is about you and your success. That's why they pay so much money to take you to lessons. That's why they drive halfway across the country, or maybe even across the whole country, for you to play in front of good coaches, because it was your dream to play college softball. Or it was your dream to be the best hitter you can be. And that's why, here I go, selling myself again, but that's why I started online training, friends. That's why I did it. Because I wanted athletes. This is where I kind of like took a weird turn. But athletes from all over the country are looking for a great hitting coach, right? They're looking for someone to help them in their game, and not everyone has a great hitting coach down the street. I am honored and blessed to have athletes down the street that come and work with me in person. But I realize that not everybody has that luxury of having a great coach right down the street. I actually spent 4 hours every single week driving to and from my lessons in high school, because that was the closest great hitting coach that we had. And my parents, for the first part of that, they drove 2 hours to Notre Dame for my lessons and drove me 2 hours home every single week, just so I could succeed and be a great hitter in softball, because they knew I wanted to play in college. I did not want people to grow up and have to drive that extensive amount of time, spend all of that money and time on the road. So that's why I built online training. That's why I built the Smash Tribe membership, so you can hit with me from your house if you have a phone. Because I don't want people and athletes to suffer and not be able to go see a great hitting coach, or have to waste so much time during the week to just travel to and from to get a good hitting coach. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair to everyone. And the fact that most of everybody has internet, I want them to have access to hit with me. So I have lessons throughout the week, virtual lessons, where I'm in my garage with my tee and my balls and my net hitting with you, because there are ways to get better from home. If you look for it, okay? If you look for it, there are things out there that are going to make you better at softball, which is why I built online training, which is why I built this membership, so I get to meet with athletes tomorrow night inside the membership and hit with them. There is no more motivation than being in a group with high energy, playing the game of softball, loving the game of softball together. I love Tuesday nights for academies. I even do a live academy with anyone and everyone that wants to join. If you want to join, we're meeting on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Send me a DM if you want some information. But this is why I do what I do. This is why I do what I love. So we got another question on Instagram, and I'm just going to keep going because I love talking softball. But why did you choose softball instead of basketball? Great question. So when it came down to it, so I'm like almost 6 foot now. So people would probably be like, why the heck didn't you just play softball? or basketball, which is funny because my over 6 foot friend, best friend, who I played college softball with, is on Facebook right now watching. This is amazing. Hi, Lily. She's 6 foot, over 6 foot, and she's a pitcher. Anyway, it would have made a lot more sense to play basketball than softball based on my height, but I did not get this tall until I was a junior in high school. I had a really late growth spurt. But when I'll be honest here, when I was a sophomore in high school, there was a girl that played on my high school team that had committed to play at Boston College. Her name's Andrea Filler. So she was committed to go play college softball at Boston College. And I was around her and I was like, you know what? She's better than me. Like straight up. She is better than me at softball. But I feel like being around her, I feel like I could become that good. And I could go get a college scholarship and go play softball. And honestly, going into high school, basketball and softball, I loved them both. But just, being around other people inside of softball that made me love the game more. I started just being around, amazing teammates. And I just loved my team. I loved working hard for my team, winning championships with my team. I just started loving it more than I did basketball. So that's why I stuck with softball. And I really think Andrea Filler, who is playing on the Italian national team, will be playing at the 2021 Olympics now. She was really that motivation for me to really stick with softball. And the fact that I loved it was because I loved playing with her and I loved competing against her. Like she was that person where when she leveled up, I was like, I'm going to level up. And then when I did, she was like, what the heck? I'm going to work hard too. So she and I were kind of like that amazing competitive, we had that amazing competitive friendship that really helped us grow into who we became. And so that's just kind of where my passion lied. And I was like, you know what? I love basketball, but softball is my baby now. Like I love every inch of it. So that's why I ended up quitting basketball my junior year of high school. But I actually ended up quitting because of a bad coaching situation, but that's a whole nother story. But just my love for softball the passion started my sophomore year and it just continued on. So that's where, the whole, paying for lessons started and, my parents signing me up for the best team in the area started so that I could play against really good opponents and that I could play in front of college coaches. That's where, everything started changing for me, but I wouldn't have wanted to have it any other way. I didn't want to play college softball until, I was like a freshman going into sophomore year of high school. That's like when I first started thinking about it. And, some people have that dream way earlier. Some people have that dream way later. But, everybody's journey is different and it's about owning your own story, owning your own journey. That's pretty much all I have. But here's the deal. This is how lives are changing. Every single week, I'm going live at 3 p.m. Eastern, just like I always have been. But so it's going to be a lot different. So the first chunk, I'm going to coach about something, but it's going to be quick. It's going to be like done in 10 minutes. And then the last, I would say 15, 20 minutes, sometimes it's going to go longer. I don't even know what time it is now. I'm going to do a Q&A with you guys. I'm going to do a Q&A with everybody on Facebook and Instagram. And I really want to encourage you guys that now, since there's that feature where we can have a conversation live, I would ask you to request to join the conversation on Facebook and Instagram. And so we can have a one-on-one conversation because I'm a coach that is fueled off of energy. And energy is hard to find when it's just you and a camera and some comments. It's there, but like I have to create it. But it would be there so much easier and I would love it so much more if I could see your face as you ask this question. So that's how lives are going to be changing from now on. It's going to be a little bit of coaching at the beginning and then all Q&A. So if you have any questions, please ask. Now, if you want to ask your question and you don't want to go live, but you want me to answer the question, submit it on Facebook if you have it, or Instagram, just send me a DM. Facebook, if you go to, there's a Facebook event. So as of 3:30, there's a new event for next week's live on Monday. If you go in there and you reserve your spot, you can ask me what you want me to answer next week. So I can kind of like prepare for the questions that you guys might ask. I can't say that I'm going to get to all of the questions, but I'm going to do my best to get to as many as I can. So on Facebook, if you want to ask that question, because right now I'm not seeing any in the Facebook comments, and I have a feeling there's a lot there that I just don't see for some weird reason. And I've looked into this before and it's like annoying. But if you guys want to ask your questions early, go to the Facebook event. It just says live Q&A with Ashley B. And it says, I think the 8th. The 8th is next Monday. Put your questions in there, and then I will do my best to make sure every single one of them is answered. Some players play to please their parents just because their parents force their child to succeed in what they can't. Yeah, this is actually really, really good. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's very, very true. A lot of players or a lot of parents do that. And I want to end that. I want to end that feeling that parents force their child to succeed in what they can't. I don't think anybody's following me here because they want their kid to succeed in something that they didn't succeed at or they didn't do. That's where like it hurts so much. Like seeing athletes, and I've seen this a lot. Like when I went to college, we had 8 people in my recruiting class that went to Purdue, and a bunch of them weeded themselves out of the game. We only graduated 4 of those 8. But they were the only ones to continue on. And what I've seen is that there's burnout. There's burnout in athletes that don't want it for themselves. There's burnout in athletes that are doing things to please others. So if you're a parent, and I don't think you are, but if you're a parent that is trying to make your kid, get a college scholarship and they don't want it, they won't make it through college because you gotta want it bad in order to graduate college, and play college softball. Because there's so many times when I played college softball that I wanted to quit. So many times, and every single one of my teammates, I guarantee you, could tell you the same thing. Because we endure a lot as college athletes. I don't think many athletes that if you don't love the game, you will not graduate from college playing the game. Straight up, like my freshman year, I wanted to quit. My sophomore year, there were times where I wanted to quit because it just got so hard. But if you love the game, you'll find a way to stay in it. But a lot of people that I see go to college and play the game, they drop out simply because it's just too much. But if you love the game, you'll continue to play it. That's what I love about this game. That's what I love about, making sure parents are not pressuring their athlete to play. Because even if you get your kid to college, that doesn't mean she's going to love it enough to make it through the tough. But if your athlete loves it and you love it more than anything, I know you're going to do whatever it takes for them to get there, but they also have to love it. They have to love it so much because there were times where I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I figured it out and I did it. And I found a way to stay. I found a way to, hit 400 my senior year and somehow get drafted to play professionally. But it was only because I loved it that I was able to do what I did. So parents, make sure your athletes love it. Make sure they love it, because here's the deal. Your athlete may love the game now, and the next year they may love piano more. But that's the thing. That's what they love. So don't force them to do something that they don't want to do because it's a waste of time if that's the case. Okay, this was one of my favorite lives I've ever done. I'm going to make sure my team edits this video and puts it up on YouTube so I can rewatch it, or you guys can rewatch it. This was so much fun. Thank you so much for asking questions today. It was an absolute blast hanging out with you. Remember, go to the Facebook event if you want to submit your questions early for next week, because I'll be live at the same time, same place, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to answer those questions for you live next week, and I'm going to spend the majority of my live coachings answering questions that you guys have, because that's my mission. My mission is to help you guys as much as I can, love on you as much as I can, ask the game of softball, ask whatever you want. I'm an open book, and I want to give you all the things that I know. So hopefully next week we'll have people doing the live conversation. So it'll be me at the top and then whoever's asking the question at the bottom. I just love interaction. I love connection. So I want you guys to hop in here, request to join the conversation so we can just chat and we can talk about softball. I would love that more than anything. Okay, with that, I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your Monday. Maybe you can hit with us this Thursday at 4 p.m. That would be awesome if you want to hit with a bunch of people from their houses. So rad. It's one of my favorite days of the week. So let me know if you're interested in that, or go to ashleybtraining.com to join us. Other than that, have a fantastic Monday. Can't wait to see some of you this week. Can't wait to see some of you next Monday. Have an amazing Monday. Go shine your light because it's needed. See ya.